3 years ago, most of us have never used AI, but today it's everywhere, helping people to write, research, code, create content, and automate everyday tasks. So if you've been watching AI from the sidelines up until now, wondering what the hype is all about, this video will catch you up. In the next few minutes, I will break down what AI can do for you, when to use each tool, and how to get started in a way that's practical, useful, and not overwhelming. So let's learn AI together. Now, you've probably come across one of these right here. We'll talk about them in just a minute, but this is what you need to know for now. They all look different, but they're powered by the same technology: large language models, or LLMs for short. They generate responses based on patterns they learned from lots and lots of data. So, for example, you could ask AI to plan my week, explain this bill, summarize an article, or teach me the basics of investing. These are chatbots. You ask questions, they give you answers. And we are using them to do anything these days. Now, if you find yourself asking the same questions every time, that's what AI skills are for. They are repeatable ways of doing things, so instead of starting things from scratch every single time, you give the AI a set of instructions to follow whenever you need a specific task done. Now, we're also starting to see AI agents, which don't just answer questions, but can actually do things for you, like browse the internet, write code, organize files, and complete tasks automatically. Now, regardless of how you use AI, there are 3 mistakes that I see people making over and over again. First, bad prompting. Second, using the wrong tool for the task. And third, not subscribing to the channel. We release videos like this every single week, so make sure to subscribe for more prompting. Okay, back to the action. Let's start prompting. Now, the quality of what you get from AI depends heavily on how you talk to it. This is one of the very principles of AI learning. The C.O.R.E framework is here to help us, the mortals, interact with AI. The C stands for context, and it essentially means you give the AI background about you, who you are, what you're working on, and any constraints it should know. O is for objective, and it's all about specifying what you want the AI to do. For example, write a 200-word LinkedIn post announcing my new service to freelancers, instead of just write a social media post. The R is for role, and it tells the AI who to act as. For example, act as a senior copywriter with 10 years of experience in B2B tech. And finally, E is for evaluate, all about refining the answer, giving feedback, and asking for improvements. Okay, let me give you an example. So here's a prompt that won't get you very far, and here's a prompt that will give you a result you'll be happy with. And once you have a first draft, you iterate with prompts like, make this more concise, challenge the weakest assumption in this plan, or rewrite the introduction to sound more confident. Now, AI can actually help you work smarter, not replacing your thinking, but extending it. A useful way to think about this is the 10-80-10 framework, which is commonly used in business and project management. Now, the first 10% is setting direction. You define the goal, make the key judgment calls, and provide the context AI could never know on its own. The next 80% is where AI explores ideas, drafts content, brainstorms options, and does the heavy lifting at speed. And the final 10% is where you step back in by refining the output with your taste, clarity, and personal perspective, so it actually sounds like you. So instead of using AI like this, write my emails, write my captions, write my blog posts, you use it like this. Here's my rough thinking. Poke holes in it. What am I missing? Or, I want to highlight that my product is a one-time opportunity for investors. Draft 3 versions, 1 direct, 1 story-based, and 1 counterintuitive. Now, one of the most important parts of learning AI is simply knowing which tools to use and when. Now, to keep things simple, I've split them into 3 categories. Thinking tools are the core AI models, and they are mainly used for writing, reasoning, research, coding, and strategy. Now, I would personally recommend these tools. ChatGPT for general purpose work like writing, coding, summarizing, and flexible tasks. Claude when you need deep reasoning, long-form writing, or careful instruction following, especially with large documents. Perplexity AI when you want accurate information with sources you can check. And Gemini when you want something that can understand more than just text, because Gemini can look at images, videos, and long documents, so you can throw it different types of information and it will still understand what's going on. Next up, creation tools. And they include anything from image generators to video and audio tools. And they take your ideas and turn them into images, video, audio, or even websites. You could use Canva AI when you need graphics, presentations, social media posts, or marketing materials. Then Nano Banana when you want to generate or edit images or animations from a prompt, and 11 Labs when you need realistic AI-generated voiceovers or audio. And if you need to build a website or web app without coding, then use Hosting or Horizons. You can just describe what you want in plain language and it builds a publishable website for you, just like the one right here. And if you want to give it a go yourself, I've left a special discount code in the description box below and a tutorial to help you get started. But honestly, it's actually super easy to use. And lastly, automation tools like N8N connect apps together and automate workflows. So instead of doing repetitive tasks yourself, you set the rules once and the system handles it automatically in the background. Now with ChatGPT and other LLMs, you can also generate AI agents. Unlike a traditional automation that follows a fixed set of rules, an AI agent can analyze information, make decisions, and take actions depending on the situation. So if you're doing the same repetitive process over and over again, an AI agent can handle some of that work automatically. All right, learning AI isn't the same as becoming fluent in it. That only happens through practice. So here's a simple 30-day plan to help you build real experience without getting overwhelmed. In the first week, focus on learning how to talk to AI. Pick one AI model and spend at least 15 minutes a day experimenting with prompts, practice the C.O.R.E framework that I mentioned before, test different instructions, and learn how small changes in wording can affect the output. In the second week, start testing different tools and seeing what each one of them is actually good at and what they can help you with. In the third week, pick one tool and apply it to a real project. It could be a resume, a content calendar, a presentation, a client pitch, or even a product description. Use AI throughout the process and pay attention to where it genuinely helps, where it falls short, and where your own judgment still matters most. And in the fourth week, start building your own AI workflow. Save the best prompts, create reusable templates, and automate one repetitive task, even if it's super small. Alright, before I wrap up, let me give you a few basic safety and privacy rules when you use AI. First, don't upload sensitive information into public AI tools. Things like client contracts, financial data, or private messages should always be treated as off limits. If you wouldn't post it publicly, don't paste it into an AI tool. And second, always verify anything that's high stakes. AI can sound confident even when it's wrong. This is what we call AI hallucinations, and they happen because AI predicts the next word based on patterns it has seen in lots of text. So you should always double check data with reliable sources before you publish them. A real example of this actually happened in court. Some lawyers used AI tools like ChatGPT to help with legal research and ended up submitting filings that included fake citations. This is why you shouldn't assume things like numbers, dates, health advice, legal info, or statistics are correct just because AI said so. A simple way to stay safe is using the trust framework. Test outputs before relying on them, review and verify important information, understand that AI has limits, secure your data and be mindful of what you share, and finally, take final responsibility. The decision is always yours. So that's your AI crash course, and your 30-day plan starts today. Now, if you found this useful, subscribe to our channel. We release videos every week going deeper on each one of these areas, and you don't want to miss the next one. And if you really want to master your prompting skills, this video right here will teach you how to do just that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.